Okay, we were talking about Native Americans.
Okay, yes.
This is probably one of the weirdest things I've come across. And I believe I've told you about it in you.
Okay.
But so there was this prophecy of a Hopi chief, Hopi, Hopi. And the video is of this Native American, I think he was a spiritual something chief, leader, whatever. But it was in the I think it was 1971. And he was at the, I believe the UN talking about this prophecy. But this prophecy, I did a little more, I listened to the full video.
Yeah.
This prophecy goes back to where, like, basically before the white man was in America.
Mm-hmm.
So this Hopi chief had this prophecy of what the future would hold and these events that would happen and certain figures that would come into play in the world that would affect this timeline. And it's insane. So let me do this because it's a really long prophecy. So I'm going to find like the one part that was the weirdest part.
Read the prophecy.
So basically talked about, he had this whole sketch. So like, obviously they didn't have a written language. It was all oral tradition. But he drew a picture of like this prophecy. And so the man in the video was like going through the whole prophecy with the drawings and stuff. And like the Great Spirit, which he really referred to as like God of the Bible. Like he's at the end and there's these different figures that come into play. And it starts off with like, the prophecy is like, this is the events that are going to happen. He said there's going to be horses that pull these basically boxes, or he called them like rocks or something, basically predicting like a carriage. And then he said, but then there's going to be our paths will be made out of rock, and talking about like roads. And then he said, then these carriages that are pulled by horses are no longer pulled by horses. They pull themselves, basically talking about cars. And then he goes on to talk about there's going to be roads in the air where people travel, airplanes. So like he's doing all these predictions. It's really wild. But he like predicted like Hitler. He predicted the nuclear bomb. Like all this crazy. It's a really long video. It's like 30-something minutes, maybe 40 minutes. Really crazy stuff. But then he said there's this separation at the end of this drawing to where it's like it could either be chaos or it could be the coming of the Great Spirit again, or the Creator. Mm-hmm. And it boiled down to one individual. Actually, technically three, but one is like the one that sticks out the most, to me at least. But I mean, you could see this prophecy. I mean, it's like super, super long.
Yeah.
It's like this really long, intense thing. Pretty confusing at some points. But he talks about this break that happens, or that was going to happen. There would be an individual that would come. And so I'm going to pick up on that. So it seems like the world is at chaos. It seems like there's no hope, all this stuff. And then this happens. It says, so we have been waiting all of these years. It is known that our true white brother, when he comes, will be all-powerful and will wear a red cap or a red cloak. He will be in large population, belonging to no religion but his very own. He will bring with him the sacred stone tablets. With him there will be two great ones, both very wise and powerful. One will have the symbol of the sign of the swastika, which they showed that, and it looked like it just an X.
Yeah.
It was kind of a little hard to tell. And where did it go?
It's just a weird X, Your Honor.
Which represents purity and is female, a producer of life. The third one, or the second one, of the two helpers to the true white brother will have the sign of the symbol of the sun. He too will be many people and very wise and powerful. We have in our sacred Kachina ceremonies a ground rattle, which is still used today with these symbols of these powerful helpers of our true brothers. So he's talking about these symbols that he's talking about. They have it on like this rattle that they've used in the Hopi tribe for like since the beginning of them.
Yeah.
And it basically like represents like the great spirit of like what is to come. He will be many in numbers and unmerciful. Oh, wait, sorry, I skipped a line. It is also prophesied that if these three fail to fulfill their mission, then the one from the west will come like a big storm. He will be many in numbers and unmerciful. When he comes, he will cover the land like red ants and overtake this land in one day. And I watched the video, and he says, and they will come from the west, and they will land on the west coast of America and overtake this land in one day. But what was crazy to me was I had this dream, which dreams like the scripture talks about like these believers, they become obsessed with like interpreting dreams and stuff, and like that's usually like a no. But as soon as I read that, I had this dream in high school. It was so weird. I had this dream of a caterpillar, and this caterpillar represented the United States. And then all of a sudden, these grasshoppers came out and started killing and eating the caterpillar. And the grasshoppers represented Russia. And then out of nowhere, as soon as the grasshoppers were killing the caterpillar, all these red ants came out.
No way.
Devoured both the grasshopper and the caterpillar. And the red ants were China. And when I read that, I just chills went down me because I'm like,
west to west.
The red cap thing is super weird.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, we could associate who the red cap would be.
Captain Crunch,
Donald Trump.
Yeah.
I thought that was super weird. And in the video, he talks about these two people that are with the man in the red cap.
Yeah, that's where I'm stuck.
He mentioned that one of these people, the man with the X symbol, he said he will be a man of great invention and he will bring new knowledge and inventions.
I'm just getting now the X thing. I'm just now understanding the X reference. Yeah. Okay.
Oh.
Wow.
And I don't really remember what he said about the other person.
Something
but
about the sun?
Yeah, about the sun. And I'm just
Big.
like, it's all really weird. It could be.
Yeah, it seems
like,
super strange how it just like lines up.
But we're
It is
talking about
strange.
this Hopi prophecy.
Yeah.
And again, God can use absolutely anyone for prophecy and for revelation. Like there's the thing in the Old Testament where this false prophet was supposed to speak a curse over the people of Israel in the desert, right? And when he went to speak, he was succumbed by the Spirit and actually spoke blessings over Israel and prophesied in favor of Israel. So like God can use absolutely anyone. He spoke through a donkey, and like, not calling the Hopi people donkeys, but like they probably weren't.
There's nothing off. He uses
Christian believers
He
at
uses
this point,
big fish to get his point across. So it's like it doesn't matter. Like
I just thought it was really weird. And like this video that I watched, it was from the 70s, and we'll put a link in the description. But this prophecy is even older than he is. I mean, it's like hundreds of years old.
Yeah.
And I just thought it was very, very weird.
Ninjas
are
butterflies. Did I say ninja? I meant butterfly. The butterfly is no doubt one of God's most beautiful creations.
As an empty your mind.
You learn martial arts!